Why would you be interested in Alma, a large city with a population of over 2.1 million people, and because it's surrounded by some amazing places? So let's begin. Almaty used to be the capital of the country for almost 70 years, from 1929 to 1997, but even today it's still referred to as the southern capital because of its economic, social, and cultural impact. It's the business and cultural center of Kazakhstan, with a number of financial institutions and banks. Almaty is home to Kazakhstan Bank, the largest bank in Central Asia, Kaspi Bank, Jusin Bank, and many others, and even Kazakhstan Stock Exchange is also based in Almaty. It's a crowded city with heavy traffic. For example, this is Al-Farabi Avenue, one of the busiest highways of the city. Walkability. The main pedestrian streets are Pin Philip and Arbit. These are popular walking areas with lots of sidewalk, cafes, street artists, and much more. And in some places it feels like a resort town with a good choice of restaurants and street musicians. Foreign. Did I mention the fountains? There's a lot of fountains here. The center of the city is very walkable and bike friendly. Over the last few years, a lot of bike paths have been constructed, and there's a number of bicycle and scooter sharing apps, which is very convenient. Because the city is so hilly, there's a countless number of ditches along the roads to ensure easy water drainage. There's lots of outdoor fitness equipment. Well done, Almighty. The city has this college town vibe to it, and there's a number of colleges and universities, including Almaty Kazakhstan-National University, the Kazakh British Technical University, and many others. The symbol of the city is an apple. Almaty is translated from Kazakh as apple, so don't forget to visit the main market of the city, the Green Market, and try some local apples. The most famous variety is Almaty Airport. Unfortunately, in recent decades, Almaty has been losing its point of pride. Apple orchards, their number is dramatically declining due to aggressive residential development. About 70% of apple orchards has already disappeared. Lots of local residents are really upset about it. I'm not local, but I'm upset about it too. We are in the apple orchard, and they have such big apples. Like this variety is called the port. They're big, almost half the size of my head. Oh my god, they're enormous. What about public transportation? Almaty has an extensive network of buses, trolley buses, and fixed route buses. Also, it's the only city in Kazakhstan to have a subway, although it's just 11 stations and one line, but it's really new. It was opened in 2011. The city served by Almaty International Airport, and in case you want to visit, they have direct flights to Dubai, Moscow, Frankfurt, Istanbul, and Seoul. Foreign. Disney. That is the mountains. If you ask the locals what's the best place in the city, they're going to surprise you by saying the mountains. So let's go to the mountains. Let's take a cable car to the wonderful city park. Cocktail. We want to spend probably about an hour walking in the hills. It's going to be gorgeous views and one of the popular sites in the city, and we'll be getting some great views of the city as we travel to a height of 1130 meters above sea level, or 200 meters relative to the city. It's an ideal place to enjoy panoramic views of the city. There's also a small amusement park, 2 restaurants, and a small zoo. And if that wasn't enough for you, there's also a Beatles monument. The TV tower is the tallest building in Almaty. Its height is almost 372 meters. Another popular place in the mountains is the legendary ice rink model. It's the highest mountain sports complex in the world. The surface of the ice is 000 square meters, or 2.6 acres. More than 170 world records have been set here by famous athletes. It's an absolutely gorgeous ice skating rink. The stadium is open to the public all year round. From here you can take a number of hiking routes. Some 30 minutes of walking will take you to your railing thermal springs. Look at these barrels. Imagine sitting in one of them with hot water in the winter. What a great experience it must be. What a great experience it must be. I got this impression that the residents of Almaty love to stay fit and to get into all sorts of sports. This guy sure knows what he's doing. I was told he's a local champion. Awesome. If you don't like to walk a lot, you can take your cable car and enjoy the views. This is such a picturesque area. One of the coolest things about living in Almaty is the accessibility of the mountains. Takes you 20 minutes to get to the mountains by car, and then you can go hiking and you can go skiing. In the winter you can take a cable car and you can just go picnicking. All your options are just limitless. Only electric cars are allowed to go upstairs, so even taxi cabs are all electric. You're only allowed to the top of the mountain if you have an electric car, or you can hire an electric taxi like this one. So we took it. It was a 4,010, yet took about 10 minutes to get to the top, or another other option is to take the cable car. Eventually you will reach the ski resort. It's called Shimbulak. It's the largest ski resort in Central Asia. It's a great combination, mild climate with plenty of sunny days and the perfect amount of snow throughout the winter months. This ski season starts from late November and lasts till April. This is what Shimbulak ski resort looks like in the winter. Foreign lake, they say. If you haven't been here, you haven't been to Almaty, so I had to go. The lake is located at an altitude of 2,500 meters above sea level. Its depth is 30 to 40 meters, and depending on weather conditions, it changes its color from pale green to dark turquoise. The big Alma-Ata lake is so hard to get to. You can't drive here because the road's been closed for 3 years, so the only way to get here is to hike for many hours, like 4 or 5 hours. It's so exhausting, but the bonuses, there's not a lot of people here. See, it's only me and a handful of other people, and the rest is nature, you know. So if you want this relaxing experience, go for it. You won't regret it. Let's get some sunshine on vacation. Yeah, and the vacation. What do you like about Almaty? I think Almaty is a little bit high altitude city, so the view is very great, I think. And near the Almaty there is a Tension mountain, and there's so many beautiful place. Almaty at night. Alright, back to the city. The day one and the night one. Lots of restaurants, nightclubs, lots of places to go to. So very different city. At night, in the evening, Almaty becomes an incredibly lively city with so many sidewalk cafes and restaurants. I didn't expect that, and they stay busy every night regardless of the day of the week. I said earlier, once he reminds you of resort town sometime. If you love gambling, I got good news for you. 60 kilometers away from Almaty, there's a town of Kupchagaya where gambling is allowed. It seems like everyone in the city can speak and understand Russian. The language issue is a hot one in Kazakhstan. Some Kazakhs are upset that the Russian speakers do not even try to learn Kazakh. Today, Russians account for 25% of the population of the city. It's worth mentioning that de-Russification is on its way, meaning because our alphabet is being translated into Latin. Oh, foreign. Lots of Russians came here in 2020 to avoid mobilization and Putin's disastrous war in Ukraine. Lots of them are highly skilled professionals, further contributing to the local economy, but at the same time raising the rent prices, which understandably brought some mixed feelings among the locals. Compared to Astana, Almaty has a better climate. It's much greener. Large trees with lush grounds provide shade from the sun so needed in the middle of the summer. Almaty is called a garden city for a reason. There's a number of parks to choose from. There's gorgeous botanical garden. This is what it looks like from above. First President's Park, Elementary Central Park, and Pin Philip Park, one of the oldest parks in Almaty. This is where you find one of the symbols of the city, the Ascension Cathedral, also known as Zenkov Cathedral. It's one of the tallest wooden churches in the world. It was built at the beginning of the 20th century and survived the devastating